And I will introduce Greg Athas, candidate for Division D Director. Greg, would you like to make an opening or closing statement?
I would like to make a closing statement.
Okay, perfect. So my first question is, describe your role and responsibilities and how you will achieve these.
My role as division director would, first of all, would be to listen very carefully to what my area directors are saying. And I think that's very important because there are so many other things to take care of. I would like to get the personal matters out of the way. Like, for example, what would I encourage my area directors to do? Well, one thing is that we can have materials that help clubs and members to better use the stage and use their voices and use their hand gestures. And this has not been emphasized enough. So I think that's a big factor. And then also my role would include the DCP points, the educational achievements, which is going to be pathways pretty soon, and then also membership and making sure everybody's paid up on time.
Thank you. Next, please describe a successful team that you lead.
That I lead now or in the past?
Either.
Well, in the past, I led a team of, we'll call it 4 people if you include myself. It was our family doctor, my father, and my mother. My mother started to get diabetes, and I put her on a special diet that was mostly grains. And it worked very well eventually, but it was not received very well in the beginning. My mother wanted the old sweet tooth diet, but then when she got used to the more healthy food, then her diabetes went away and her depression went away. She stopped getting up several times in the middle of the night, and I'm of the mind that that was probably my biggest accomplishment in my lifetime, because we don't have our health and we don't have much of anything to give to others. So that was my greatest accomplishment in leading a team, while at first I was not very well accepted, and then they came around to accepting what I had in mind, what my plans for her diet.
Thank you. My next question is, what will you do differently than past leaders?
Oh, that's a good question. There are so many things I would do differently. I went to a Spanish bilingual club meeting and I was thinking, why don't they have bilingual transcripts of at least one speech? So that's a big project in and of itself, is to make bilingual transcripts for foreign language. We call ourselves Toastmasters International, so why don't we put the international in Toastmasters by teaching visitors or even club members foreign languages without turning the club into a foreign language class. And that's one way we could do it, is by drawing up some transcripts that are in foreign language format. Chinese and Japanese would be very challenging. Spanish would probably be a little more straightforward.
What innovative approaches will you bring to this role?
Thank you, Stephanie. Some of the innovative roles that I would bring would be, first of all, for the district executive committee to have some template letters or form letters for things such as introducing themselves as the new area director, or to remind the club members to perform certain functions, anything between that, and thank you notes. Another innovative approach is that I would like to see bilingual foreign language speech transcripts. Perhaps we could do one for each of the foreign language clubs. I think that would raise some interest in foreign language. And then perhaps we can encourage members to make up outlines for their pathways assignments, because I've seen so many speeches go overtime because they didn't know how to wrap up their speeches. And I think that's because they go on and then they don't know how to wrap up their speeches. I would like to go to my closing statement now. My basic premise in any leadership role is to, first of all, perceive what's going on around me. And I've always tried to do that ever since I was very young. And then also, I would like to encourage the members to follow the requirements of Toastmasters while at the same time being creative about it. And if we write down in as much detail as possible what we're going to do as an organization, then that will be the well conceived program that leads to the enthusiasm of its members.